Hello everyone! The sudden passing of actress Tangmo on February 24, 2022 shocked Thai society and caught the attention of international media. The case became a focal point due to its mysterious circumstances, many complications and suspicions surrounding the death of the beautiful actress. From an accident leading to death due to negligence to the possibility of murder, the details of the case continuously changed. Moreover, there were supernatural elements related to spiritual factors. We believe that you've all heard and understood part of this case from various media sources. However, in today's video, we will summarize the entire story to provide a more objective and comprehensive view of the case. And you are watching True Crime in the World, where we together explore the most mysterious cases, the most thrilling stories. As usual, before we start unraveling the mysteries of this case, please leave a like and subscribe to support us. Thank you very much. First, let's start with Tangmo's life. Tangmo, whose real name is Nida Pacharavira, was born on September 13, 1984. Fans often called her Tangmo. In Thai, Tangmo means watermelon, so many international fans referred to her as Watermelon Beauty. Tangmo had an older brother. Her parents divorced when she was 3 years old, after which Tangmo lived with her father. Her mother remarried and started a new life, rarely appearing in front of her ex-husband and daughter. Tangmo and her father lived rather modestly. In her 10th grade, she was coincidentally discovered by talent scouts. By 2002, at the age of 18, she entered a beauty pageant and officially stepped into the entertainment world. After her debut, Tangmo worked for Thailand's TV7 for over 10 years. In 2013, she became an independent artist. In 2007, Tangmo unfortunately suffered a serious traffic accident. Some reports suggest she had been overworking for a long time, so while driving home, she fell asleep at the wheel and accidentally crashed into another car. This accident severely damaged her appearance. She had to undergo over 140 stitches and several cosmetic surgeries. Fortunately, after treatment, Tangmo retained her beauty. In 2013, after ending her contract with TV7, Tangmo got engaged to the artist Tono. At that time, she thought she had found her true love. However, this relationship lasted only over 2 years and ended in 2015. After the breakup, Tangmo suffered from depression for some time. She even took sleeping pills and cut her wrists in an attempt at self-harm. Luckily, she was rescued in time. This incident led Tono to face strong public criticism. Ultimately, Tangmo held a press conference to apologize to all affected parties. She said she had caused too much trouble for everyone and now just wanted to return to her normal life. During this time, Tangmo's father was always by her side, continuously encouraging and motivating her to bravely overcome everything. It's clear the bond between father and daughter was very deep. Since entering the entertainment industry, Tangmo had neglected her studies, but because her father always hoped his daughter would graduate from university, even though she was over 30, Tangmo still spent her free time studying. In 2018, she graduated from Rangsit University, one of Thailand's top universities. By this time, Tangmo's career was also starting to flourish. That year, she adopted a little girl, whose identity will be revealed later. In 2019, Tangmo reached the peak of her acting career with her role as the aunt of the female lead in the popular drama The Drifting Leaf. Although it was just a supporting role, Tangmo vividly portrayed a jealous, sharp-tongued, and rude aunt, because the character liked to scream whenever something displeased her. Tangmo was also given the nickname the Screaming Aunt. The drama revolved around the main character Nira, a beautiful and talented transgender woman carrying a grudge due to familial rejection. After being helped by Chat, her mysterious uncle, Nira was determined to seek revenge on those who had wronged her. The controversial uncle-niece romance attracted a large audience across Southeast Asia, creating a Thai drama fever at the time. It was during this period that Tangmo finally met the true man of her life. His name was Bird, not involved in the arts. Bird had known and secretly admired Tangmo for over 10 years, but never dared to pursue her. Later, when Tangmo ended her relationship with her ex-husband and fell into depression, Bird bravely confessed his feelings and gradually helped her escape the dark past. Sadly, this hard-earned path was too short-lived. In 2020, Tangmo's father was diagnosed with cancer, and the COVID-19 pandemic further destabilized the income of independent artists like Tangmo. To treat her father's illness, she had to borrow money from friends in the industry and from banks, amassing debts up to 10 million baht, equivalent to about 700 million VND today. But soon after, her father passed away. To pay off her debts, Tangmo even went to the black market to sell her old things, which attracted the attention of many fans and reporters. With her outgoing, lively personality, Tangmo freely allowed reporters to take photos and publish articles, which not only helped solve her financial issues, but also attracted more customers. Up until the unfortunate incident, Tangmo had managed to pay back 5 million baht. Tangmo was also nicknamed the Nine-Lived Cat by her fans because she continuously fell into predicaments but quickly overcame them. Unfortunately, this cat had to give up its 10th life before having the chance for a brighter future. On the evening of February the 24th, 2022, Tangmo was invited by her manager Gratik for a boat trip on the Chao Phraya River. Besides Tangmo and Gratik, there was Sand, a transgender woman, Paw, a wealthy businessman, and the boat owner, and two of Paw's friends, Robert and Job. Robert was the owner of an advertising company, while Job owned a chain of hair salons. Notably, aside from her manager Gratik, this was the first time Tangmo met the other four. Around 8:30 p.m., they boarded the yacht, quickly departing from Nuan Wuli Pier. According to those on the boat, they first headed to a restaurant to have dinner. After eating, everyone returned to the boat to continue their outing, passing under the Rama the Zetanate and Savan foot bridges during their journey. At 10:40 p.m., as the boat was nearing the Rama the Seven bridge, Tangmo suddenly fell into the water. Strangely, after Tangmo fell in, her manager did not immediately call the police. Instead, they contacted Yide Charity House, a well-known charity in Thailand that has its own rescue team. After receiving the information, Yide Charity House staff notified the police. But when the police and Yide's diving rescue team arrived at the scene, they faced a major obstacle. The investigation team confirmed the victim who fell into the water was actress Tangmo, but by then, no one from the group that reported the incident was present at the Chao Phraya River. In other words, all those who were with Tangmo that night had left. The police tried calling the person who reported the incident multiple times, but could not get an exact location of where Tangmo had fallen into the water. This made finding Tangmo akin to searching for a needle in a haystack. Meanwhile, the media swarmed to the Chao Phraya River like cats sniffing out a scent, eager for news. Some tabloids initially even joked that Tangmo was the nine-lived cat, suggesting she would be fine this time too. Such remarks were like daggers piercing the hearts of Tangmo's loved ones. The rescue team searched all night but found no trace of Tangmo, which meant her chances of survival were dwindling to zero. That night, Bird, Tangmo's boyfriend, also came to join the rescue efforts. The next day, photos were captured of him on a boat on the Chao Phraya River, praying with a haggard look, tears streaming down his face. Tangmo's brother, upon receiving the news, rushed to the scene to help. He thought he could quickly get to the scene and understand the situation from Tangmo's friends from that night, but unexpectedly, all 5 companions had disappeared. On February 25th, Tangmo's brother and mother tried to contact manager Gratik multiple times, but the phone was unreachable. After Tangmo's father passed away, she had begun reconnecting with her mother, who shared many childhood memories Tangmo had forgotten, making her realize for the first time how much her mother still loved her. On February 26th, the search still yielded no results. In desperation, Tangmo's mother followed a friend's advice to perform a flower-scattering ritual by the riverbank. This was believed to be a ceremony to guide those lost back home. Coincidentally, at 1:15 p.m. that same day, Tangmo was found near the pier where the flowers had been scattered earlier. By then, Tangmo had become a cold corpse. Her mother fainted at the scene, and her boyfriend, Bird, collapsed over her body. As the case unfolded, people increasingly noticed many inconsistencies. At the press conference following the incident, manager Gratic explained that Tangmo fell into the water because she slipped while trying to use the bathroom at the back of the boat. She said she was busy taking photos at the front of the boat, while others were either steering or sightseeing, with only Sand lying at the back, playing on her phone. At the time, Tangmo said she needed to use the bathroom, but the onboard toilet was broken. Manager Gratic even complained, "Why didn't you go when we were on land?" The transgender woman, Sand, stated that Tangmo went to the back of the boat, held onto her legs with one hand, and leaned her buttocks outside to use the bathroom. Because the boat was moving too fast and there were large waves, the situation became dangerous. Sand admitted she was the first to see Tangmo fall into the water and screamed loudly for everyone to stop the boat and start searching for Tangmo. But due to the late hour, the unfortunate actress quickly disappeared into the vast river. Hearing this, the explanation for Tangmo falling into the water seemed utterly implausible. She was wearing a one-piece jumpsuit that day. To use the bathroom, she would have had to undress from the top, essentially going nude. The peculiar thing was that Tangmo barely knew anyone on the boat. How could an actress who had been in the public eye for nearly 20 years undress to use the bathroom in front of strangers? Later, the transgender woman Sand further described that Tangmo used one hand to pull her clothes aside and the other to hold her leg to use the bathroom at the back of the boat. These explanations became more and more nonsensical. How could someone perform such difficult maneuvers on a boat moving at high speed? Right after the incident, none of the 5 people who were with Tangmo provided their statements within the required time frame. When the police finally found and started to interrogate them, these individuals not only quickly hired well-known lawyers, but also gave contradictory accounts. Some claimed they didn't know where Tangmo had fallen into the water, while others said they immediately called for help when Tangmo had her accident. When asked why no one on the boat was wearing life jackets, manager Gratic responded, "That way the photos would look better." However, others claimed there were actually no life jackets on the boat. The transgender woman, Sand, later did a live stream on Instagram. Throughout the broadcast, she displayed an indifferent attitude, even laughing several times. It wasn't until staff beside her continuously signaled for her to stop that Sand finally restrained herself. One day after the incident, manager Gratic only then returned calls to Tangmo's family, and during the more than 30 hours before the body was found, some fans noticed that 7 posts on Tangmo's Instagram account had been continuously deleted, even though her boyfriend and family did not have access to her Instagram password. Thus, the person who could have deleted these posts after Tangmo's death was likely manager Gratic. To this day, no one knows what the content of those 7 deleted posts was. Gratic was not only Tangmo's manager, but also her close friend for many years. As previously mentioned, Tangmo had adopted a girl, and the biological mother of that girl was Gratic. Another noteworthy detail is that before her death, Tangmo had taken out an insurance policy, with the beneficiary being her adopted daughter. Even the sunglasses Gratic wore at the press conference after the incident were the same ones she had on the day of the accident. Gratic's cold and indifferent attitude towards her best friend's passing caused a wave of outrage across the country. First, after Tangmo fell into the water, Gratic did not stay at the scene to wait for the rescue team, but instead rushed home to shower and quickly went to sleep around 1 a.m. The next day, she took particular care with her makeup before leaving home. When asked by a reporter, "Why didn't you inform Tangmo's mother immediately after the incident occurred?" Gratic answered, "I don't know her. Besides, she doesn't know how to dive. Even if I informed her, it would be pointless." Such logic truly baffled everyone. Tangmo's mother revealed that before the incident, Tangmo and her manager Gratic had a heated argument. They hadn't communicated for 3 months. Gratic immediately denied this information. She said that she had lived with Tangmo for many years, and while they sometimes had disagreements, they never had a Cold War that lasted more than 1 night. However, another close friend of Tangmo, Anna, a famous Thai speaker, said, "Tangmo and Gratic had a conflict not long ago. She even mentioned wanting to change her manager." When Tangmo's mother asked, You say you have a close relationship with my daughter, so why didn't you immediately go to save her after the accident? Gratic said she didn't know how to swim. However, on this woman's social media, there was a video of her swimming with her daughter not long after the incident. Tangmo's mother received an anonymous package containing a mysterious CD and a piece of paper with strange symbols. She handed these items over to the police. The investigation team discovered that the CD contained Enter Sandman, the music video depicting a child having a nightmare. In the dream, there were images of police falling from heights and drowning, among others. The lyrics also mention words like eternal departure, sleep, soul. The last time Tangmo went live on Instagram before her death was on a speedboat. She was sitting on the boat, drinking and humming along to the music, with a sweet smile always on her face in front of the camera. However, some fans noticed that when she turned her head to one side and brushed her hair, it seemed like she was giving an international distress signal by showing her palm outward, briefly stopping at the numbers 5, 4, 0. Some people turned down the background music and heard a man's voice speaking very rudely, "Quick, bring your friend here." Immediately, a woman's voice replied, "Tangmo is very hard to convince." This detail led many netizens to suspect that Tangmo encountered some unspoken rule on the boat that night. Both Tangmo's mother and her close friend Anna stated that Tangmo almost never participated in parties with wealthy entrepreneurs like that. She even despised such unspoken rules, believing they diminished her value. Therefore, if Tangmo was indeed involved in those rules, it must have been because she was entrapped. However, manager Gratic claimed that the night was just a simple gathering among friends. Both Gratic and the transgender woman Sand stated that Tangmo fell into the water around 10:40 p.m. on the night of the incident. Gratic later provided the police with several photos taken that night. There was a photo of them together at 9:56 p.m. and 2 selfies of her around 10 p.m. If someone was observant, they would immediately notice the clue in those photos. The Rama 8 bridge in the background is usually turned off at 9 p.m. Surveillance footage from a restaurant facing the bridge also showed the lights going off at 9 p.m. It's possible that Gratic manipulated the timestamp on the photo. The built-in function in iPhone cameras makes this easy, but why would Gratic do this? Could it be that Tangmo fell into the water earlier than 10:40 p.m.? And what were the people on the boat doing that they only called for help at 10:40 p.m.? Tangmo's body was severely disfigured when it was recovered. Her eyes were bulging, one open and one tightly shut, with clear signs of strangulation on her neck. 3 autopsies were performed. The first results showed a large amount of water and mud in her trachea, lungs, and even in her stomach. Therefore, the police concluded that Tangmo died from drowning. The forensic doctors discovered 11 injuries on the victim's body, mainly concentrated on the back of her thighs, left calf, and right knee. The largest injury was on the inner right thigh, 30 centimeters long and so deep that the bone was visible. The strangest thing was that Tangmo's entire face had turned blue-black, while other parts of her body remained normal. Regarding the red mark on the neck, the police speculated it might have been caused by the necklace Tangmo was wearing. But when her body was found, the necklace was in normal condition, showing no signs of being tightened. One of Tangmo's hands was tightly clutching sand, yet no other person's DNA was found under her nails. What left everyone in awe was that the number of injuries on Tangmo's body increased with each autopsy. The second autopsy revealed a total of 22 injuries on her body, doubling the count from the first examination. By the third autopsy, the number had risen to 26 injuries. Based on the working style of the Thai police, many netizens raised questions about these new injuries. Either the forensic doctors had been negligent and missed these injuries in the first examination, or these new injuries were created during the autopsy process. The police believed that the deepest wound on Tangmo's inner right thigh was caused by the boat's propeller after she fell into the water. However, strangely, the boat's propeller mysteriously disappeared after the incident. The investigation team had to dive for 3 days to find the missing propeller. The only thing was, the propeller looked quite new when it was recovered. Another notable detail is that on June 19th, Thai media released Tangmo's blood test report, which revealed the presence of clonazepam. This information immediately stirred public opinion. Many might still be unfamiliar with clonazepam. It's a prescription drug used to treat epilepsy and anxiety, acting as a strong central nervous system depressant, causing extreme drowsiness in users. Some criminals have used clonazepam by slipping it into drinks for young women, waiting for them to lose consciousness before committing nefarious acts. Thus, this drug is also known by the nickname date rape drug. Tangmo had been drinking that day, and the mixture of alcohol and clonazepam would make someone even sleepier. Coincidentally, after the incident, Paul, the boat owner, underwent blood and urine tests, which also detected the presence of the banned substance alprazolam in his system. This drug causes users to become inexplicably excited, with a clouded consciousness, erratic behavior, irritability, and aggression. It can even cause temporary memory loss. Paul explained that after Tangmo fell into the water, he felt extremely confused and scared, so he took this drug to calm himself down. In this accident, it seems not only the 5 people on the boat had malicious intentions. Tangmo's mother should have been the one demanding a thorough investigation. However, not long after, she publicly told reporters that she had forgiven Paul because he called her every day to apologize. He showed a very sincere attitude and promised to take care of her for life. Most importantly, this man agreed to pay 30 million baht, equivalent to over 870,000 USD, in compensation. Tangmo's mother repeatedly expressed that Paul was a very courteous man. In summary, this action could be interpreted as, the money has found its place. She calculated and set Tangmo's annual film salary at 1 million baht. Thus, if she had lived another 30 years, her total earnings would exactly be 30 million. It's clear this transaction was not a loss at all. While her daughter's body was still warm, Tangmo's mother was the first to declare that everything was over. Her pursuit of money infuriated the Thai entertainment industry. Many famous stars posted photos taken with her saying, "My mother would never let me die unjustly for 30 million baht." Even Tangmo's boyfriend couldn't bear it and stated, "For me, no amount of money can buy justice for my sister. I really don't know what's happening with my mother anymore." Despite numerous suspicions surrounding the case, on April 26th, Thai police hastily declared the case closed and released a 25-minute video concluding the investigation. They stated they had summoned a total of 134 witnesses over more than 2 months since the incident, meticulously analyzed 200 video clips, 88 pieces of physical evidence, 47 investigation reports, and concluded that Tangmo's death was due to negligence. The time she fell into the river was determined to be at 10:34 p.m. on February 24th. Not an accidental drowning, nor murder. It was the mistakes of others on the boat that led to Tangmo's tragic death. The police still couldn't verify whether she went to the bathroom, but there was much evidence indicating someone did go to the back of the boat, fell into the water, and disappeared. On the night of the incident, the wealthy businessmen, Paul and Robert, were steering the boat together. They didn't even have boating licenses, and the boat's documents had long expired. Additionally, everyone had been drinking, so the police concluded that Paul and Robert's negligence in operating the boat caused Tangmo to fall into the water. Eventually, all 6 suspects involved were charged. You might wonder why there were only 5 people on the boat besides Tangmo, yet 6 were charged. That's because the 6th person was an advisor named M. After the accident, all 5 remaining individuals, fearing responsibility, sought advice from M. M taught them how to fabricate and give false statements. This is why the testimonies from those on the boat were inconsistent during interrogation. Manager Gratic, the transgender woman Sand, and the hairdresser Job were accused of aiding in evading prosecution, concealing the truth, and providing false statements. The wealthy businessman Paul and the advertising company owner Robert were charged with operating a vehicle without proper documentation, using an expired vessel, and negligence causing death. The advisor M was charged with aiding in evading prosecution, concealing the truth, and inciting defendants to provide false statements to criminal investigation agencies, etc. Although all 6 were charged, Compared to murder, these accusations were relatively light. They were all quickly released on bail. The most infuriating was when the transgender woman Sand posted a photo with manager Gratic on her social media on the day the police announced the case's conclusion, with the caption, "No matter what the public says, the truth will protect us." Some netizens commented that while the law might be unjust, their karma would catch up with them sooner or later. But the story doesn't end here. After Tangmo's death, the last post on her Facebook page was on February 24th, but more than 3 months after the incident, at 1 p.m. on May 21st. Her account suddenly updated with a new post in the first person saying, "I was hurt by a friend I always loved and trusted." The image showed a woman waving at the front of the boat. It was clearly the outfit manager Gratic wore on the night of the incident, but this picture had never been posted before. A few hours later, at 5 p.m., another group photo was added with a note. "I am still waiting for the 5 people to tell the truth. Otherwise, I will reveal everything that happened on the boat to everyone. Don't think that deleting data from your phone means it can't be recovered." A few hours after that, Tangmo's Facebook page updated with an 18-second video. In the video, manager Gratic was wearing high heels, holding onto 2 men beside her to board the boat. The caption read, "How could I go to the bathroom at the back of the boat? Even if the boat is docked, it's still pushed by wind and waves. She had to hold on to the arms of those 2 men to get on the boat. Even if I can't speak, don't falsely accuse me like that, dear friend." In the comments section, Tangmo's account posted another image of a woman with her mouth open, catching falling pills. Some people immediately associated this with her being drugged by someone else. Just as everyone was still reeling from the shock, Tangmo's Facebook account was quickly locked and deleted. The last post before the account was locked was, "I am Tangmo, don't forget me. I will make the truth come to light. I don't need anything else. Thank you for all the love you've given me." Afterward, an account named Happy Melon Official appeared on Facebook. Tangmo's pet account on IG also posted, calling for everyone to follow Happy Melon Official, promising to reveal all the truth there. Immediately after, the Happy Melon Official account began posting previously unreleased photos of Tangmo. The strangest thing was a photo of the back of the boat with the following note: "The last photo on my phone was taken at 8 p.m., so who took the photo of you at 10:13 p.m., dear friend?" Who was behind all these posts on the account? Was there any supernatural phenomenon at play? Tangmo's mother, brother, friends, and boyfriend all denied it was them. A few days later, Gratic agreed to an interview on this topic with reporters. Unexpectedly, during the interview, Gratic suddenly received a video call from Tangmo's Line account when she was still alive. Gratic immediately accepted the call. Everyone thought they were about to see the real face of the anonymous person behind it, but instead, the other party played a sensitive video that Tangmo had recorded while alive. This caused panic among the witnesses. Afterward, they decided to handle the interview and not make the video public. The social media account controlled by the anonymous person began to lose control like a wild horse. They started updating with some private images unrelated to Tangmo's case, including some suggestive selfies Tangmo had taken in her room. At first, everyone thought the anonymous person was advocating for justice, but as things developed, it became clear that the intentions behind this were far from simple. However, before things could heat up, Thai media uncovered the true identity of the anonymous person. His name was Bang Jack, an American of Pakistani descent who grew up in Thailand. He had been trusted by Tangmo's mother to manage her daughter's social media account. Before this, Tangmo's mother had agreed to accept 30 million baht in compensation from poor, but couldn't forget her daughter's death, so she executed this plan. In other words, from the beginning, this woman had lied to journalists. Tangmo's mother had known Bang for several years. This man told her he could recover deleted data from Tangmo's phone, so she entrusted him with the phone. When asked why he called manager Gratic and played Tangmo's sensitive video, this man explained that he only wanted to warn Gratic to quickly reveal the truth. He claimed he didn't know Gratic was being interviewed by the media at that time. Additionally, Bang revealed that the sensitive video was recorded at 9:30 p.m. on the night of the incident when Tangmo was forced to film in a hotel. The phone still held much evidence showing Tangmo was continually threatened. Although Bang's revelations were shocking, many expressed skepticism towards this man due to his criminal history of money laundering and fraud in Thailand, after which he fled to the US. Some even said he had threatened an ex-partner with sensitive images. His reputation could be said to be completely ruined. Regardless of the veracity of the information Bang provided, just looking at his posting of Tangmo's private images shows that Tangmo's mother had trusted the wrong person. The sensational information on Tangmo's social media further escalated public attention to the case in Thailand. The police's conclusions almost lost their meaning. Meanwhile, some non-governmental organizations demonstrated their capability in seeking the truth. Notably, there was a well-known figure in Thailand called the Genius Old Man. The Genius Old Man's real name is Acharya Ruangratanaphong. In Thai, Acharya means genius, so everyone calls him Genius Old Man. This 55-year-old man was previously a construction engineer. In 2008, after completing a project, not only did the contractor fail to pay him, but he was also falsely accused of illegal trespass. Initially, the case leaned in Acharya's favor, but refusing to bribe the police made the lawsuit more difficult. Although a lawyer later helped him win the case and have the charges withdrawn, the police still hadn't removed his name from the criminal database. Because he was still in the criminal records, Acharya faced many difficulties, both in his work and personal life. By 2010, he led his wife and children to the Royal Thai Police Headquarters to protest. The incident quickly gained public attention, and the police had to face significant public pressure. Eventually, Acharya was removed from the criminal records. This unforgettable experience made the Genius Old Man realize how insignificant ordinary citizens were against the backdrop of an unjust judicial system and the power of wealthy tycoons. The Thai police showed no interest in the fate of the impoverished. In the station, officers would only serve tea, water, and coffee to the rich, while for the less fortunate, all they received was indifference and the cold sound of banging desks, sometimes even being handcuffed and detained. From this point, the Genius Old Man began to educate himself in legal matters, gathered like-minded individuals, and established a club to help victims, fighting for those who couldn't resolve their injustices on their own. Due to the similarities in this case, they decided to investigate Tangmo's case. Right before the police announced the case closure, on April 20th, the Genius Old Man held his first press conference. At the meeting, he presented the findings of his team after more than 2 months of investigation. Tangmo was brutally murdered. During the investigation, he consulted numerous legal experts, medical professionals, and forensic pathologists, all of whom stated that the over 30 centimeters wound on Tangmo's inner thigh could not have been caused by a propeller cut. It looked more like it was inflicted by some kind of weapon, like a knife, for example. The Genius Old Man also pointed out emphatically that during the investigation, Thai police were involved in corruption and collusion. Initially, when the police searched the boat for 3 days, they found nothing. But on March 1st, they suddenly found 3 hairs at the back of the boat. Strangely, all 3 hairs belonged to Tangmo. On that day, all 6 individuals had been on the boat for a long time, yet there were no traces of the other 5. Did they glue their hair to their heads with superglue? What the Genius Old Man meant was that someone within the police station had helped destroy evidence and create false leads. On April 21st, the old man, along with his team, went to the Thai National Anti-Corruption Commission to submit the evidence they had collected, accusing an officer from the Nonthaburi police station of abusing his position to interfere in the case. This led to much skepticism and controversy regarding the police's final report announced on April 26th. On May 9th, the Genius Old Man held his second press conference, where he released a video that he claimed had leaked from the police. The video allegedly showed someone using the propeller to inflict deep cuts on Tangmo's body. The content is too gruesome to show here. The Genius Old Man suspected that either the police or a forensic doctor had been bribed. They deliberately used the propeller on Tangmo's body to create evidence that matched the suspect's statements. This would also explain why, with each autopsy, the number of injuries on the victim's body increased. Regarding the 30 centimeters wound on Tangmo's thigh, both the police and those on the boat claimed that when Tangmo fell, she was sucked towards the bottom of the boat and hit the propeller. However, on April 28th, forensic expert Dr. Porntip analyzed in an interview that scientifically, if someone fell into the water from the back of a moving boat, they would likely be pushed away rather than pulled in. Another doctor, Dr. Tavachai, suggested that the murder weapon could have been a folding knife, specifically a K2 model on the boat. He even recorded a video demonstrating cutting pork with the K2 folding knife. The results showed a clean cut, with depth and shape matching the wound on Tangmo's thigh. A surveillance video from the day of the incident showed the businessman pour not using a bottle opener to uncork the wine. From his actions, one could infer that he was using the K2 knife. Moreover, coincidentally, on the piece of paper Tangmo's mother received with the mysterious CD, there was also the K2 symbol. Before this, the police had contacted Dr. Tavachai, hoping he would testify that the wound on Tangmo's thigh was caused by a propeller. However, the doctor refused, saying, "I can't lie with a straight face like that." We mentioned earlier that on the day the police closed the case file, they broadcasted a 25-minute investigation video. In this video, they compared the wound of a foreign man whose leg was cut by a boat propeller with Tangmo's wound. The police stated that the shapes of the wounds were similar. However, in reality, the man's injury was accidentally caused during a party, not by a propeller, as was previously reported by the British newspaper The Sun. Faced with this tangled evidence, the Thai police could no longer sit idly. They gave the excuse that they couldn't find the K2 folding knife on the boat. This explanation made Thai netizens laugh out loud. Would any criminal be foolish enough to leave the murder weapon at the scene for the police to find? Or in other words, does not finding the murder weapon at the scene mean there was no murder? On May 24th, Tangmo's body was cremated, and a funeral was held. As for the genius old man, initially, since he was not a family member or an authorized representative, he couldn't directly provide the evidence he had collected to the court. But later, Tangmo's mother invited him and his team to act as third-party lawyers to help her with the case. However, according to the latest information, the genius old man and Tangmo's mother had a disagreement because she wanted to prosecute the individuals on the boat for involuntary manslaughter under Section 290 of the Thai Criminal Code and demand 100 million baht in compensation. However, the genius old man insisted on filing under Section 289 for intentional murder. Prosecution under Section 290 would result in a sentence from 3 to 20 years, while under Section 289, the maximum penalty could be the death sentence. Tangmo's mother stated that she didn't want to make a big deal out of it, so a moderate punishment was enough. However, the genius old man had previously assured her that he held crucial evidence and was certain to win the case. But to keep the information from leaking, he couldn't disclose it to her at that time. On June 14th, the genius old man decided to file a lawsuit for intentional murder. Just a few hours later, the court accepted the case file. As you know, the court does not easily accept murder cases without sufficient reason. Their acceptance means that the information and evidence in the genius old man's possession have a certain level of logic and credibility. Also, on that day, Tangmo's mother went to court and withdrew her authorization for the genius old man to act as her lawyer. In other words, this man was no longer representing Tangmo's case. A few days later, there were reports that Tangmo's mother planned to withdraw the charges filed by the genius old man. Seeing this, he said, from the beginning, she always wanted to find more substantial evidence rather than clarify her daughter's case. She has been secretly communicating with the businessmen Paul and Robert, even considering adopting Paul as her son. A series of strange actions by Tangmo's mother made people question whether she was really Tangmo's biological mother. Now we'll reveal a rather interesting rumor that suggests Tangmo's biological mother might be someone else. Thai media discovered that Tangmo's real mother, Pirat, died over 10 years ago in a traffic accident. Before her death, she kept calling out her daughter's name, saying she wanted to see her one last time. Later, a journalist found Pirat's sister, who firmly stated that Tangmo was her niece. She said that her sister and Tangmo's father were each other's first love, but couldn't be together due to strong opposition from Tangmo's father's family. However, they had a daughter, Tangmo. This aunt even presented a photo of another daughter of her sister for comparison with Tangmo's photos, showing clear similarities. However, according to the latest news we've received, the speculation about the real and fake mother was just a misunderstanding. The reason for the confusion was because Pirat's daughter shared the same name and birth date as Tangmo. In other words, Tangmo's actress mother was still the one willing to accept compensation from the wealthy businessmen. This bloodthirsty mother no longer wanted to pursue the truth behind her daughter's death. Towards the end of May, a video was circulated on TikTok believed to be Tangmo's last cry for help before she died. The person who recorded it said that night he saw the reflection of lights from the boat on the river, which looked beautiful, so he coincidentally recorded this video. Upon reviewing it, he was startled to realize it might be the boat Tangmo was on the night of the incident. He quickly posted the video to his personal TikTok account. Some netizens noticed a woman's voice shouting loudly, "Save me! Don't do this!" When zooming in on the video, one could faintly see the silhouettes of two men at the front of the boat and a few others seated in the middle. However, due to the video's low resolution, the Thai police could not consider it as related evidence. In an interview before his death, Tangmo's father shared, "At the time of deciding on the divorce, I gave up everything to gain custody of my daughter. Both of us then lived in a tiny apartment. Being a single father wasn't as great as I imagined." Upon divorce, Tangmo's father left all the house, car, and money to his ex-wife. For a long time, father and daughter had to struggle to make ends meet, constantly moving from one dilapidated apartment to another. Tangmo's father not only worked outside, but also managed to cook and care for his young daughter at home. Despite the hardships, when asked if he would change his decision if he could turn back time, Tangmo's father quickly answered no, without hesitation, because his daughter was everything to him. When she was small, every time her father went out to work, Tangmo would cry loudly. But once he explained that he was going to earn money for rent and to support the family, she seemed to understand immediately. However, years later, Tangmo's father learned from neighbors that there were mornings when he left for work. Little Tangmo would cry and chase after him to the end of the alley. Despite the difficult times they shared, Tangmo and her father always felt happy. As he once said, "Tangmo is my whole world." That's why even his social media account name was Super Dad. The only consolation now is that the two of them have reunited in heaven. The story of Tangmo is not just a tragedy filled with pain, but also brings many valuable lessons. First, it reminds us of the importance of truth and justice, encouraging each person to be patient and determined in fighting for what is right. The story also highlights the value of family love, evidenced by the affection and sacrifice of Tangmo's father. At the same time, it calls for everyone to uphold honesty and ethics, as exemplified by Dr. Tavachai's refusal to testify falsely. Through the trials and losses, we learn that patience and hope are indispensable for overcoming dark times. So what do you think about today's case? Leave your thoughts in the comments below for discussion. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on the most classic cases on true crime in the world.